Alright guys, what I got here is an Atlas Sound 25/70 volt 15 watt emergency horn model AP15TUC. I got this last weekend. This was purchased for pretty much pennies. This was being sold for dirt cheap by the IMS Supply. They were selling two of these, one which was purchased by another user who also has one of these. This is the second AP15TUC I have so far. The first one, if you remember, was the red version, one which the Mr. Mercury Fix-It came across, that was also being sold for cheap. This was being sold for much cheaper than that. And I'll say this one is in much better condition than the other one when I first had it. Now, they were selling two of these, but for some strange reason, the seller decided to take down the listing, and the week after that, the listing was posted up again, so I purchased it pretty much after that. Now, as mentioned, this is in pretty decent shape for what it is. When it arrived, it was pretty dusty. Had a lot of dust. I don't know where this was used. I might guess a Lowe's or some other type of building, but this was definitely used inside, considering the fact that the paint is still intact. If it was used outdoors, all of this would not be here. All of the paint would have been chipped off by now. I presume this model is from the mid-2000s, and one of the reasons I say that is because it uses this wing nut here. This is the wing nut design that they were using starting from the mid-1990s. The newer ones look like the Shinsung ones. So there's that. Another notable change is the terminals. Now, this was introduced in the very late Soundolier era. I would say around 1999 specifically. They also reintroduced the metal terminal switch. Before that, they had the plastic ones, which were not very high quality. Now, speaking of quality, I'm not fond of these terminal thingies. These tend to break off. I had several problems like that before with both the red version of this horn and the Duquesne horn, which was given to Aaron. So there's that. We're going to take a deeper look into this, so let's start unscrewing it. So to start this off, I started with the cone here, and this is that little cone that is used from the driver. Now, unfortunately, this is plastic. Not sure what type of plastic this is. I would assume this is PBS or PVC plastic. Kind of feels that way. Now, while this thing does sound a bit decent, I prefer the metal one. Those did not have this tubular noise to it compared to these plastic ones, which of course was pretty much used to cheapen out the products. Now, this is just the beginning. We're going to take a deeper look inside of this, so let's go for it. Alright, so this is the horn taken apart. So this has a capacitor. As you know, these are models meant for emergency purposes, so these can also be used for fire alarms. And this capacitor pretty much blocks the bass. That way you don't blow out the diaphragm here. This is what the magnet looks like. And of course, this is a cheaper design here. And what I do not like about this is that these are just two plates glued onto each other. I prefer the previous design they had before, which this Harris horn does have, including up to the thicker terminal strips on that. Now, what would happen is that over time, if the glue wears out, this plate here will shift. Therefore, the magnet will be up against the voice coil, and therefore the voice coil will not be able to produce sound properly. which is the case of that Atlas AP15T in the train station, as well as the AP15TUC, the red one that I first had. You really do not want that to happen. Now back onto the capacitor. It is glued onto the transformer here. This is a 15-watt transformer. These still have the sound Dollier name, surprisingly enough. Another indicator that this is from like the mid-2000s. Of course, this is connected to the negative lead, apparently. The positive lead goes straight to the... It went straight to the transformer, if I remember right. Or was it the black lead? No, the black lead goes to the terminals, and the white lead goes straight to the transformer, as you see there. But yeah, we're going to reassemble this entire thing, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we got the horn reassembled, so let's play some music. Alright, so that is what the horn speaker sounds like. Sounds pretty decent, actually. Despite, of course, the cone inside this cone being made of plastic, but I might change that out in the future. But yeah, this is a pretty decent horn. I'm very glad to have gotten it, so that'll be it for the video. That is the teardown and overview of the Atlas Sound model AP15T 25/70 volt 15-watt emergency paging horn.